can't afford it,
Right.
then I'd stay with it. I agree, Mel, it is getting a little bit high, there's no doubt about it. But I think it's such a worthwhile trip, and I think it's, some of these kids, if that's the only time they ever get to go to Washington DC, it's worth it.
Oh, I agree. I'm going to support it, but I'm just getting concerned about any other comments?
I have the same
Cliff?
concerns as usual on it, that we make sure that we have a good program that's commensurate with the experience, that's local, that is subsidized, so that we don't have kids feeling left out.
Yeah, I
I think-
agree with you more about that. We really try to work hard, and we involve the kids. You know, again, by April vacation time, we would have a real good handle on the students who are going to DC and the ones that are not. We try to get the kids who are not, who have elected to go on the alternative trip, involved in helping us design that itinerary. So we do try to mirror images, some museum, experiences, and we do put the the amusement park at the end of that week, because at the end of the DC trip, they do go to Busch Gardens. So we try to mirror image it from that standpoint.
So why don't we get John back on the agenda for the 25th, and hopefully you'll have the dates down, and we can
Cool.
vote on it that night.
Okay?
Great.
Thanks for your
Thanks,
time.
John.
Okay, now we have the 3 elementary school improvement plans, and I'm just gonna do them in the order that they ended up in my envelope when I got the packet delivered. So, Mr. Clean, you get the honors of going first, as the LD Batchelder Elementary School was #1 in my envelope.
Actually, if what we did this year was in an effort to bring it together, is we actually put together a PowerPoint presentation that will lead through all 3 elementary
Oh, great.
schools at one time.
That's
Excellent.
fantastic.
So all 3, you wanna come up at the same time?
If that's okay.
No, that's great.
Yeah, that's great.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Actually, that's wonderful.
Yes, it is wonderful. If all 3 of you wanna, if you wanna just introduce yourself, and then you can proceed with the proposed plan.
I'm Sean Colleen, principal of the LD Batchelder School.
Christine Molly, principal of the E. Ethel Little School.
Glenn McKay, principal of the J. Turner Hood School.
Great.
For our school improvement plans, the elementary school principals, obviously with Mrs. Molly being a first year, but she was an active member of the little school council. We've worked together in writing our goals and looking at the strengths and success of our elementary schools, as well as areas that we want to continuously improve on. So when it came time this year to talk about a overview of our school improvement plan to the school committee, we thought it would be in our best interest to put something together that shows some of the similarities and then still some of the differences that exist in our schools and directions that we're going on. I'd like to thank Mr. McKay for taking the time to put together, he put all the slides together for us. I know that there are a couple of people I want to recognize. Carol Smith behind me, just in case I forget later. She's a parent who just is here in interest, that served on my school council as well. So you see with the school improvement plans, we talk about how we operate in compliance with DOE regulations, looking at continually monitoring our progress in each goal to ensure the implementation of best practices. The goals and objectives from the past school year, along with an evaluation of each objective, will be outlined in the presentation. And because this is an abridged presentation, the full detail will be in the mailing that you've already received. So at this time, I'm going to turn the clicker and the mic over to Mr. McKay, principal of the Hood School.
All right.
Well, thank you for having me. I'd just like to take this opportunity to introduce 2 staff members from the J. Turner Hood School. I'd like to introduce Ms. McGrath. She served on my school council last year, so thank you for coming in. Mrs. Gorman, who's actually working on her principal certification. Well, thank you for coming. I'd like to start off with the mission statement of the J. Turner Hood School. The mission of the J. Turner Hood Elementary School is to educate and challenge students to their fullest potential. J. Turner Hood students will become lifelong learners with social, intellectual, and critical thinking skills that will enable them to function as successful adults in our global society. We spend a lot of time at the J. Turner Hood School talking about what our theme is, and our theme is hand in hand, together we can. And we came up with that basically because of our belief that hand in hand together, we can accomplish many goals if all the members of the J. Turner Hood School community remain cognizant of our theme and continue to work collaboratively to benefit our students. This is the school council membership. I had grade 2 teacher Sadie Cheever last year, grade 1 teacher Laurie McGrath, a grade 1 teacher Miss Audrey Majewski, 2 parents, Jody Sponzo and Fiona Maxwell, as well as a community representative, Paula Neville. Goal development process. The council consisted of the principal, 3 teachers, 2 parents, and 1 community representative. We met monthly to develop and monitor progress of the goals, review the budget, and discuss concerns. We developed a new school improvement plan, and outlined below are the meeting dates. Enrollment data for the J. Turner Hood School. Last year, we serviced approximately 449 students. As you can see, we do have the 4th grade. That is now my 5th grade with a larger population of students. There's currently 89 students in that group, but last year there was 88 in 4th grade. The first goal at the J. Turner Hood School is to improve student achievement. And I'll go more into detail as this goes forward. The second goal is to continue to implement our philosophy of working together as a professional learning community. Third, provide a safe learning environment for all children, free of ridicule, where children will be able to express themselves freely. And lastly, maintain strong relationships and partnerships with the school committee, school parents association, school councils, school staff, and the school community at large. Ms. Molly and I used the same descriptors of progress in ours. I will not explain them. You can go and review them in more detail in your packets. Basically, we assigned a code to each one of the goals. And if you look through the progress snapshot, goal 1, we had 21 established benchmarks at the Hood School, 3 benchmarks that were in refining status, and 1 benchmark that was still in developing stage. Goal 2 had 9 established benchmarks. Goal 3 had 13 established benchmarks, with 3 benchmarks still in refining status. And goal 4 had 10 established benchmarks with 3 in refining status. So achievement highlights for goal 1. We continuously analyze data to inform instruction. We use our results from our DRA reading assessments, as well as our district benchmarks in MCAS. We provided tuition-free MCAS program outside of the school day for identified students. In math, we had 30 participants last year. In ELA, we had 27. We created an individual tracking system for students identified as warning or needs improvement on MCAS. We used data from school assessments to determine which students received regular ed reading support. Last year, there were approximately 50 students. And we provided early intensive services in grade 1. Last year, we had 12 students receiving between 4 times a week, 30 minutes, to 3 times a week, 30 minutes of reading services from our reading specialists.
Glenn, can I ask you a question? You said you did provide after-school tutoring for MCAS for students who needed help with no tuition.
Yes.
Is that covered, Kathy, is that Title I money, or how are we?
It was through the enrichment program?
Oh, okay. Okay,
For the enrichment.
great, thanks.
And we'd like to continue to employ small group instruction and differentiated learning models for all students, including those identified as reading or Title I support. In Title I support, we identified 47 students that received services during the school day. Achievement highlights for goal number 2. We rewrote the school's mission and vision. We encouraged input and collaboration amongst all stakeholders through surveys, the school council, PA meetings, and faculty meetings. Our child study team meets weekly as part of our pre-referral model in order to create successful learning environments for all students. Last year, we had 30 students go through our pre-referral model. And we want to continue to utilize professional learning community study groups. Goal 3, achievement highlights. Last year, we spent a lot of time in our professional learning communities working on what our school behavioral objectives are. So we defined those and posted those throughout the school. We use our little saying, our school is SRR. That means our school is safe, responsible, and respectful. And that's that shared common language that we use throughout our building with our students. We use strict enforcement of the sign-in log and stickers for visitors and volunteers and substitute teachers. We continuously practice our safety drills, our fire drill, and our lockdown procedures, and we have identified emergency backpacks in each grade level, in each classroom, I'm sorry. And we try to keep families updated on our food policies and changes. to Hood School procedures. Goal number 4, achievement highlights. To continue to maintain the Hood School A to Z as a resource to communicate the rules and procedures and remind parents to utilize this resource. Basically, the Hood School A to Z is a document that's published on the school website, and it outlines everything about the Hood School from A to Z. It's a nice resource for families and parents and to new members to our school community. We create a comprehensive presentation literacy cart with brochures for parents to utilize as a resource, so you'll see that frequently at back-to-school nights, out and about during the day, and whenever we have visitors to the Hood School. We're proud that we utilize email communication. Last year, we had approximately 22 families or 22 friends that received hard copies of our paperwork. That means approximately 400 students or families received my communications and all communications from the school via email, saving us paper.
That's great.
The school website was a big push last year for us. We really wanted that to be viewed as that portal of communication. And we really enjoy, as a faculty, hosting our volunteer breakfast at the end of the year, thanking all of the people who come into the school and help us out throughout the year. Last year, we had a small group get together and we created a Hood School informational PowerPoint that has been posted to the website. So if you go onto the website under About Us, there's now a document, Welcome to the J. Turner Hood School. And biannually, I like to complete a parent survey to determine the needs of the stakeholders. So we did that last year, and we used that information in our school council meetings, and we'll be using it in our upcoming school council meetings to change practices in what we do. Any questions?
Questions for Glenn?
Oh, thank
Sounds
you.
good. Thanks.
This is Molly.
Thank you. What am I clicking, Glenn? Good evening, everybody. This is the E. Ethel Little School School Improvement Plan. I'm in a different position than I was when the plan was developed, because I was the co-chair on the committee last year, and now I'm the principal this year. So, our mission statement for 2009-2010, I actually chose to include the inclusion statement, because for me, I think that really says it all. We are an inclusive school district. As such, we are a collaborative culture that welcomes all members into our learning community. Recognizing that students share more similarities than differences, our learning community respects each individual's unique contributions. As an inclusive school district, it is expected that all adults share the responsibility for providing every student with access to and participating in high-quality education. We also are big on mottos at our school, and for the past year, our motto has been Catch a Rising Star. It was actually developed by the PTO, and our motto says that it encompasses our philosophy of working together for the greater good of our students. The efforts of the PTO, parent volunteers, administration, staff, and teachers has truly made our stars, the little school students, shine brightly. This is the current school council. I have a grade 5 teacher, Nancy Badavis, as the co-chair. Rosie Brennan is the secretary. 3 parents, Jerry Farrelly, Susan Ladowski, Christine Pecora, and 2 community representatives, Judy Haja and Donna Prentice. This is in June, I believe, 2009-2010. Our enrollment was 408 students. With the 3rd grade last year being our largest class. That's sort of our bubble section that has been moving through the school. They are current 4th graders. And the goals of the EE Little School, number 1 is to examine the spring 2009 MCAS results at grades 3, 4, and 5, identify the students needing additional support, make the necessary adjustments to the curriculum, and prepare for the administration